welcoming you back to the desk of Caddicarus. Join us as we partake into a new installment of Current Quickies.
Hello, my duckies, and what the fuck happened to my house? And this week we're going to be having a look at Murdered Sole Suspect. This game here is bad. When I heard about Murdered for the first time, I loved the concept of it. Not that movies haven't done it before, but I thought that the whole idea of a ghost trying to solve his own murder was a great idea for a video game. I was very late in actually getting the game when all the reviews started flooding in. Everything from 2 out of 10s to 8 out of 10s. So, I had no idea what to think. Until I played it. But the question is, how was it then? Well...
This game is bad. I know I just said that earlier, but this game is really bad. Murdered Sole Suspect is an example of a game that does a fucking lot wrong and is luckily only held up by 1 or 2 major things. I guess the good things I can say about this game is that the plot is decent with a few unexpected twists, and where the characters are slightly sandpapered, the main character Owen I found to be quite likable, even if his voice and line delivery was kind of shit on most occasions. The main plot itself is okay, but where it really shines is with the relationship between Rowan and his ex-wife who's dead in the story. Scattered notes of her diary are found all over the town hub world, and the way that they are written, not to mention the way that they are structured and pieced together, give a really fantastic sense of genuine connection and emotion between the two characters. And it's fascinating to see how her mind copes with Rowan's shortcomings, how she works around her own struggles with her mentality, and the backstory between these two characters I found to be very moving. Not to mention pretty huge and very expansive. I mentioned the town hub world a second ago, and honestly that's something I actually liked. Seeing different remnants of the town's past as you explore, all the mini side quests and things to grab, all the different areas of the town such as the shopping centre and the beach, and just the whole dark, gloomy aura of the place really stuck out to me, not to mention the gloomy aura of the game as a whole. Not to mention within the side quests of the main goals, you'll have to find a specific number of particular items to unlock a ghost story, which I loved. And the ghost stories themselves, where a little bit cheesy sometimes, I found to be quite chilling when they were done right. And that was probably the only sense of major enjoyment I got from playing the game and actually getting excited from beating a side quest.
And that's because there's a lot wrong with this game.
As far as I'm concerned, everything else falls apart when you start playing the game. Firstly, as far as the technical stuff goes, throughout the whole game, the frame rate was incredibly inconsistent for no reason whatsoever, and it slowed down to single digits in most parts of the game, sometimes even freezing on me a few times. I also came across a few control bugs that prevented me from picking something up altogether, or prevented me from actually leaving a certain area because the leave area command wouldn't show up. But as far as the gameplay itself goes, I was expecting an LA Noire type of deal with its own unique ghost mechanic spliced in, which would have been awesome, but no. Instead, the entire gameplay is based around you picking shit up. That's it. You walk around, pick shit up, walk around, pick more shit up, go for a comfortable jog, and then pick more shit up. And once you've picked up enough shit, you go back to the crime scene you were at where you asked yourself a question, and depending on how much shit you picked up gives you more relevant shit to match up with the question. I mean, the shit that you do pick up is sometimes extremely well hidden, especially in the side quests, but even the side quests involve just picking more shit up anyway. And also, as far as the questions go, you don't actually answer them. You give yourself a question, for example, why was the killer here? And then you had to pick a specific amount of clues that you found to have the most relevance to the question itself, which half the time don't even make any fucking sense. So apparently the killer was here because he was looking around here. What? That doesn't answer anything. But what's really great is that you get 3 chances to solve these questions, but even if you mess up, nothing changes. Nothing happens, you just keep going until you get it right. The only thing you sacrifice are these try badges down here that do absolutely fucking nothing. So basically, you're playing a detective that doesn't let you do any detective work. Unlike LA Noire, you don't actually use any of your own initiative, and you don't solve any puzzles yourself. All you do is pick shit up, and the crimes themselves solve themselves in the cutscenes. And the game doesn't actually punish you for doing anything wrong, making the game far too fucking easy and oftentimes really damn tedious. But finding these things to pick up is another story entirely because of the inconsistency of the game design. Through a stupid explanation explained within the story, you apparently need to be invited to specific buildings in order to ghost your way through the walls within that building, which I'm completely okay with. There needs to be rules in these kinds of games, but then there are still some walls that you can't fucking walk through once you're inside the building. Consistency, please. And as for the walls that you can walk through, it just ends up turning the areas into a goddamn maze, and instead of appreciating the game's level design, you feel like you're just using cheats, clipping through the scenery and getting lost. Talking of consistency, there are other things in the game that are just never explained at all, such as the particular ghostly apparitions and why you can tear away parts of them to walk through in the story, but they're not all the time. And other things like Beyond Two Souls, when you can only possess certain people when the game wants you to. Oh, and you can possess a cat for some platforming segments, but the control is fucking balls. As for the enemies, there are none. Except for these bastards here that you walk up behind, hit some buttons, wait for a quick time prompt, and then kill them. No skill, no stealth, no threat, pointless. It's the only example of combat in the entire game, and it feels so tacked on it's laughable, honestly. And if you do get caught, you start from when you just met them anyway. And as for the scenes where you have to distract people to get Joy to slip through, you click on the nearest thing to the people near her, wait, and then escape. And even if they do see her, nothing fucking happens because you clicked on the correct trigger to automatically mean you can continue without getting spotted. Either way, in conclusion, this is more or less a point-and-click game with no challenge, no punishment, not much puzzle solving, and bad combat. The easiness of this game is strangely rewarding for the benefit of the plot alone and just for the easy satisfaction of getting trophies and such as, and where the game does shine in 1 or 2 aspects such as the set design, music, and particular story arcs, it falls apart everywhere else by being too inconsistent and poorly designed. If you already bought this game ages ago and were waiting for my opinion on it, then I can only apologize. But I need to talk about more bad games on this show, right?
This game gets a 3 out of 10.
Hello there everybody, and thanks so much for watching my review on Murdered Soul Suspect. I know it was very late, but you know, I felt like I really needed to talk about it after I got it, so there you go. If you look in the description, you'll find all of my social networks and Twitches and everything down there, all the exciting stuff, as well as my games grabber page so that you can see what games are on my shelf right now. That's pretty cool. And also, I'm going to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to my top supporters on Patreon. So a huge thank you to Nicole Ganara, Harry Gaynor, Tony Pierce, Mohammed El Sali, Ivan Strand, Greg Black, Abdullah Almana, Brad Bird, James Tigani, Benjamin Peasley, Ahmed Al-Mutawa, Alan Angert, Delmar Mullins, Kylie McKinnon, Andrew Hernandez, Christopher Miller, and Cody Nelson. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you everybody at home for watching this video, because without any of you, then none of this would have happened whatsoever. And if it's your birthday today or watching this video, then happy freaking birthday to you, and please remember to stay beautiful.